I know how scrappy you've been throughout your entire career, and I mean, you only know one way, and that's go. And I'm kind of curious, what have you learned about yourself? Because you've been in championships before, but not at the cup level. And what has this taught you? What have you learned? How's it going to make you better moving forward?
Yeah, I think just I feel like even through the regular season, my whole career, like I've never given up in a race. Like I'm always 100% every lap. But I will say I felt like in the playoffs I did a lot better job of just like risk versus reward and kind of knowing, all right, like Texas for example, when we were running 28th, like you're not going to drive to fifth right here, so like just maintain where you're at. And watching Harvick, and just he kind of is so good at that. Like at the beginning of the race, he might not be the best car, but at the end, he finds himself up there and in position. And I feel like in the playoffs, I learned a lot about just how to put the whole race together. Where I probably did do the best job of that, really my entire career. Where I felt like in the playoffs, we had to string there 4 races where I would say 2 of those we definitely finished way better than where we ran all day, and it was just a matter of just putting yourself in position, and just chipping away at it. On the restarts, try to gain 2 or 3 spots. On pit road, try to gain 2 or 3 spots, and by the end of it, you're up there in the top 10 and sometimes the top 5. So, I felt like I learned a lot about that during the playoffs and just when to push in certain. Not when to push, but just when to not put yourself in a bad situation trying too hard. And I didn't do a very good job of that in the regular season. I felt like I did a lot better in the playoffs, and I kind of went all back on it last week, though.
Mark Garrow, PRN, sort of along Lee's line of questioning. What's it been like as the first time in a Cup Series playoff? Have you noticed anything different from an intensity level or just the way you've handled things? You talked a little bit about that a moment ago, but just week to week, and what's it been like?
Yeah, I would say, honestly, the intensity's not been as high as I thought it was going to be. And some of that's probably because I'm not up there battling for stage points, so that could be some of it. But I felt like the Xfinity Series, like I remember 2019 when it was my first playoffs there and being in the top 5 to 7 in those stages and how hard the racing was. And I would say it's similar in the Cup deal, but I guess what I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be, exponentially more than even what the Xfinity Series was from an intensity standpoint. It's kind of the same. So that kind of caught me off guard because I did think it would be a little more. And I feel like just the Cup level, everybody's so cutthroat now anyways, late race restarts, just restarts in general. Everybody's kind of out there for themselves. So the intensity didn't really change, I didn't feel like, from the regular season to the playoff time.
How disappointed are you to be in the position you're in?
Yeah, it's disappointing for sure, but it's not as disappointing as the other 8 guys that are already knocked out. So, we still have a 1 in 8 chance. It's a slim chance, but we still have a chance where, there's, like I said, 8 other guys that don't even have a shot to be in the Final Four. So, yeah, there's still a lot to be proud of. Disappointing that we're in a must-win. I felt like if we could come here and kind of do the same as we did the other rounds of the playoffs, where if we could just be within 10 points, we had a chance to go out there and point our way in. But, yeah, we're going to have to earn it, and that's how it should be. So we'll try to win tomorrow. I thought we had a pretty good car here the first race. It's going to be interesting to see how the race plays out. If it was as hard as it was to pass the first race, if we qualify good today and start up front, we can really kind of maintain the race. So, yeah, just got to go there, know what the goal is tomorrow, just got to do it.
All right, Jeff?
How are you viewing the season for yourself at this point? Like, did you guys overachieve by making it here? Is this what you were supposed to do? Or, when you look at last week, now are you wishing like, oh man, there was more we could have gotten, more we could have done? How do you see yourself as a whole?
Yeah, I would say underachieve a little bit. I mean, just because I know what we're capable of. Like, when we put it all together, like, truthfully, we could have had 3 race wins right now, right? Like, just based off speed alone. So, only having 8 or 9 top 10s, like, when we put the whole race together, the last 4 weeks we've done it, and that's where we should be week in and week out, and, a lot of that falls on me. So I feel like I underachieved, just from not finishing. Like, I should have won the Coke 600. The Bristol race I probably wasn't going to win, but the Coke 600 I had the best car and ran 4th with it. So I felt like I underachieved in some areas. I felt like I learned a lot. I felt like I grew a lot this year. I feel way more confident in what I'm doing, and I feel like I belong in the Cup Series a lot more. So from that side, I feel like I achieved a lot of the goals and kind of checked a lot of boxes that I wanted to kind of check going into the second year of the Cup Series. But yeah, from a results standpoint, I mean, you always want more, right? Like, I mean, you could win 10 races and you wish you won 12. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say just making it to the top 8, was an overachieving moment for us, because I felt like from a speed standpoint, we are a top 8 car when we put it all together. We just haven't done that as consistently as others. So yeah, just felt like we underachieved a little bit, or not we. I want to put that on me. Like, I felt like I underachieved a lot just in my performance. So just got to get better, and it's going to come as I get more experience. Just putting myself in these situations and learning what not to do will hopefully help, for future times when I'm in that same situation.